This week's podcast is presented by GK Calls, Migra Ammunition, Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association, Gibraltar Boatyard, Turtle Box, Gator Decoys, Hunt Proof, Cooler Guard, Pattern Pros, Hodag, and last but not least, I'd like to have a huge shout out to Brian Ellithorpe for all of the support that he does behind the scenes. Now let's get into today's episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Great Lakes Outdoors podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association. We got Trav and I on the podcast today. What's going on, Trav?
Oh, I just love spending my Sunday afternoons with you, Kyle.
We were doing some work at my buddy's pond yesterday, and after we did some work we were doing work for upcoming waterfowl season. We're trimming it down for trimming the whole banks and getting all the phragmites out of there and making it more comfortable for the geese to land in. And there was a second where I thought to myself, I spend too much time with Trav on the weekends, even though he's not close to me. And it's bothered me ever since. I'm just letting you know.
Why were you thinking of me in that moment in time?
Because there was
you might have missed me. You missed me.
There was a single goose that flew over, and it sounded like it was dying. And I said, "Man, that sounds just like Trav calling right there." And that's what made me think of you.
No, that's the sound after I call them in, and the geese are just falling from the sky, all raining down.
Well, then my next question would be, who's shooting? Because I know you're not shooting at that point.
We don't hunt much anymore, dude. I'm a sharpshooter now. I don't miss.
From all the stories, yeah, you're right. I lied.
I don't miss. I don't remember the last time I missed a goose or a duck. It's been a long time.
When was the last time you hunted?
It's been a long time.
It's coming up, man. It's coming up quick.
I know. I played softball this weekend over in Saginaw and was riding over with a guy that you met him at the table there in Grand Rapids with GK there. He stopped over, bought a call and stuff. And we were driving over and we were talking like, man, goose season's right around the corner and we have not touched our calls yet.
I started a little bit with mine, but we were out. Obviously, yesterday we were working on that, and we were working on the goose blind during turkey season this year. I think with the pond, I'll break into this. I think with people's ponds, they wonder why they don't have a lot of geese on it, and I think a lot of the problem that people have are the edges. And if the edges are, this is just my thought, I guess, if the edges are too overgrown or where the geese can't see or get up out of the water, it seems like they don't like it as much per se. And maybe not even get out of the water, but just if it's not a big enough pond, like you could have the whole thing surrounded by phragmites, but if it's not big enough, not saying his pond's not big by any means because it's a decent size. It's just weirdly shaped, and there's some like pinch points almost. So I almost feel like they're almost like threatened in there. So, I mean, we did a lot of work cutting down. I think we cut down maybe a quarter of the bank, maybe a little bit more than a quarter of the bank. But yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming.
And there's nothing in the water, right? Like there's no like lily pads or grass growing up in there.
No, it's pretty open for the most part. Yeah. I mean, there's some like weeds here and there, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty open for the most part. It's now last winter it held a lot of birds in the wintertime when it was staying open and birds were struggling finding open water. But this time of year you would think it'd hold a lot of birds. It's just really not. It's weird, and that's the only thing I can think of is just the cattails around it wise.
Yeah. Well, I think like our brains are trained to like, for at least for me per se, like right now, like right after after goose ends, I'm into turkey, and then now I'm in that deer mindset, getting things ready, and like I'm not even looking for geese right now, even though it's bad because it's right around the corner and I should be starting to get fields and do this and do that, but it's like my brain is not trained to be looking for geese, so I'm like, yeah, I don't see any geese anywhere, but in reality, there's probably geese everywhere. I'm not looking for them yet.
Surprisingly, I seen my first, maybe my second flock flying already, and I feel like it's early. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I still think, I mean, like early August, which is knocking on the door, but I think that's the time of year you're really going to start seeing. But I don't know about you up there with how the summer has been. Very fortunate for the farmers' sake, but for our sake, it's going to be a very tough September, early season goose, just because there's not a whole lot of wheat by us right now, and the wheat that was there, it seems like it's coming down already, or it's been down, and the cover crop's already in it.
Yeah, almost every wheat field by me is already coming down already. It's crazy.
It's gonna be tough. gonna be tough, I feel like. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's gonna be interesting. The one flooded spot we have is gonna be flooded. Hopefully, stays flooded, I should say. Um, hopefully that holds some birds in September. But other than that, it's gonna be difficult in September for us.
Well, I mean, like, because 'cause you've been saying, like, a lot of your farmers have gone away from wheat, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a money thing with they're just not making money or too much work with spraying and whatever it may be. Um, I don't know the whole purpose of it. I would have to assume it's money because if you're not making money on it, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
But yeah, our main farmer is going away from wheat, and I know a couple other big farmers around our area are doing the same thing.
Well, I know at least for me, there's not usually corn or wheat on public land, swamps, so I don't really have to worry about it that much.
I might have to go to the water, man. I might have to just try to stick to water, find some like low ponds or something. I'd love to find like a big grassy low pond and just set up there at like 9 o'clock in the morning. It'd be awesome. I cannot find one to save my life.
Well, it'll be interesting this year to see because my, grandpa decided to do what my dad did behind his place, and he put in 2 ponds out in the popples there where that loaf pond is that I usually hunt. So
Yeah.
now there's another big pond too, so hopefully we can start bouncing birds and have some areas where they're gonna put some goodies in there, some rice and stuff, so, I mean, I'm
Now
hoping.
who did that? The DNR came through or no?
Ducks
Who
Unlimited,
Ducks Unlimited came through,
yep,
built the ponds for habitat.
yep.
Did they put like wood duck boxes up and everything too, or was it just like natural grasses and just
So, I mean, a lot of natural grasses, and there's a bunch of stuff that we planted on the sides that's food and cover for the waterfowl. But like it's probably been a couple years now where I built like 5 or 6 wood duck boxes and put them around, and then my dad went out and bought 3 or 4 more and put them up. So trying to make it a little more ducky and goosey for the
have they used
birds.
those?
As terrible as this sounds, in those 4 years, I have not gone back to those boxes. So this winter, it is on my checklist to do is to go and check every box and put the sawdust in and make sure everything's good. My biggest fear is I'm going to go in one of those boxes and they're just going to be, I don't even want to say it because I'm not even going to speak into existence. So,
Now, let me ask you this:
because I built them, so I don't want there to be anything bad in those boxes.
did you put like chicken wire inside of it?
No, I did it I found it on Ducks Unlimited website there, and I followed a step by step, and so I just took my little table saw and I just cut grooves, notches
Okay,
in there so they
same
can
thing.
climb up.
Okay,
Yeah,
same thing
yeah.
pretty much. Now when you do look into the wood duck boxes, don't be scared per se if you do see eggs that aren't hatched. By now they're probably rotten. But I've heard that wood ducks will lay dummy eggs for other like hens not to lay their eggs in that area per se. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that.
Well, I mean, with it being it's been a few years since I've checked them. I mean, they might not be using them now because there's rotten eggs in there from when they first laid eggs in there, right? I mean,
That is also true. It's probably a beehive by now.
it's it's probably what it. That's why I'm gonna go in the wintertime, when there's nothing in there, and
Probably
hope,
smart.
yeah. It'll probably be squirrel. It's probably a squirrel's nest.
It could be, but if you got squirrels living in there, you probably didn't put them in the right spot because that could be a danger to the eggs at some point too. So let's yeah, we'll come back to that when the time's right.
We'll come back to that in December after I check the boxes.
Yeah, maybe do a little video on that. Maybe not, but yeah, probably.
Content, man. I'll do it. I'll do it for the content,
Yeah, I'm sure
and
you.
I'll get just absolutely blasted on social media for
You
that.
know, it's all a learning point.
Hmm.
Not everybody knows everything. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say. Everybody's learning a little bit, and that's what's crazy about social media. Is just everybody's bashing everybody, and it's like, well, maybe that person didn't know. Granted, everything's at your fingertips now where you can look it up, but still, I mean, learning from experience is the whole thing.
yeah. And it's tough too with being 2.5 hours away, and when I get up there, it's you're spending time with family or you're hunting or doing whatever. It's not usually hunting prep isn't on the mind. So I'll have to make that. We'll have to do that this winter though.
Yeah. No, that'd be good. That I don't know. I know my season will get good once the corn comes down, the beans start coming down. It's just gonna be the time frame between, and it's gonna. Well, I mean, I guess there's deer, but there's been times for me with deer hunting. I've thought about not going out there till middle October. Speaking of deer, we just finished our blind today too, so that was a
Did you?
huge. Yeah, we got the ladder all up, cut some more lanes down, hung another hodag rope up. So that was promising. Freshened up like the spring tree, like the licking tree. Freshened that up with some scent, and I don't know. I'm gonna say it, but we jumped. I think one of the big bucks out of there this morning. He was out in the bean field eating, and I watched him for a little bit, and he tucked into the woods. And by the time we walked out there, I heard some deer running off, and it had to have been him. Um,
I mean, it's July. I mean,
well, I'm
you're
not
doing
that
work. Yeah.
sure, yeah. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I think previous years we were doing it in August or in September even, you know what I mean? So as of right now, unless we do end up doing a food plot, like we talked a little bit on the previous podcast that hasn't dropped yet. Unless I just start like do a food plot and maybe change some batteries and some cameras or something, I really don't gotta go back out there, which could be nice.
Yeah, I mean, for me right now, it's like the one spot I try not to go into at all. I just need to reset the straps and freshen up my Hodeck rope. Probably, maybe might try to go out there in a couple weeks and do that, and then probably not go back in there until I hunt it next. Because the last time when I shot my buck out last year, I was literally sitting straight up like this, and in a ladder stand, that's usually not how you want your legs to be.
Mhm.
And if people remember, I did a video of me trying to put up this ladder stand by myself, and it wasn't a very fun experience for me putting up a 20-foot ladder stand by yourself. So when I go out there, I'm going to have to pick up the legs and turn a little bit on an angle to make it a little more comfortable because it was not a very comfortable set in that
Is that
stand.
the one that you fell out of, or was that a different stand?
No, I did fall out of this stand. I did get it up and I did fall with it.
Okay.
I haven't fallen out of a tree stand in a long time, which I'm very thankful for because falling out of a tree stand is not fun at all.
Knock on wood, I haven't done that yet, and it's not on my bucket list by any means. I just haven't done that yet. I got close in high school. Some buddies and I were hunting state land, and we'd go out as much as we could out to state land. We weren't seeing anything half the time, but we'd go out to state land by the house here, and they told me that they hung up a stand and it sat in it already before. And I thought I heard something behind me, and I turned, and all of a sudden, like could feel myself getting closer to the ground. So what the stand was they found a platform with a seat on it, and then they built two by fours up to the platform, and then it was basically strapped down by like a heavy duty ratchet strap without the ratchet.
So just like
And
nodded on there.
yes,
Oh heck
and
yeah. Okay.
I didn't fall, but it was probably the closest I've been. I mean, the bingo daughter was dotting, that's for sure. That's for sure. I was freaking out a little bit on the inside, and I'm trying not to like ruin everybody's hunts, but at the same time, I'm like freaking out that I'm gonna fall out of this tree, and yeah, it was not.
Yeah. And I mean people that hunt ladder stands know like now there's so many bolts, so many pieces that go into a stand and it's all for safety now, right? Cuz before they just had the legs were just slid onto. And that's what happened with mine when I fell out of it. The tree had grown and so it popped it out of the top of the stand, which is there's the strap on the stand, there's strap middle on. So when I went up to the top, I got up to the top and it was an old Remington ladder stand, probably 10-year-old ladder stand, and got to the top and the brace on the bottom could not hold me and just went straight backwards. Thankfully, it was only about a 15-foot ladder stand, but
Oh,
I did just miss landing on the quad behind me by feet because it was I had the quad with the saw, all the stuff in it, and yeah, that was not a fun. Knocked the wind out of me, and yeah, not
mm,
fun.
that's crazy. Yeah, I'm
Not
good.
fun. And and
There's
that's and that's probably why I don't hunt with. That's why I never want to hunt climbers. 'Cause I've heard horror stories with those where you get to the top and your feet fall out from underneath you. And now you're just sitting there
yeah.
and hunting hang-ons because I hunted in Indiana for my college, my high school graduation present. My dad got me. Went down there in December in Indiana. It was not fun, and the tree stands were 30 feet in the air and the sticks were on one side, and you had to bear hug the tree, and you had to shimmy around the tree and step onto the platform. And so, yeah, as a 18-year-old who only hunted out of ladder stands his entire life, that was a wake up call. And now I exclusively only hunt out of ladder stands, even though a lot of people want me to hunt saddles, and I'm like, yeah, I'll keep the ladder stands. I'll keep the private lane ladder stands.
I got a climber for Christmas one year, and I don't even know if I ended up using it because I bought it for that state land. But and I think like kind of like the reason why I don't want to pull the trigger on saddle hunting either, just because I felt like walking around the woods aimlessly in the morning or in the afternoon trying to figure out a spot to sit on a small piece that we have. Um, one, you might not find a tree, or you might find one tree on the whole property, and you're going to be stuck going to that same tree. So why not just have a stand set there? I understand like the saddle or the climber during, like big state land, or if you got a bunch of property that you're able to hunt or whatever it may be. It just never really suited what I did or do, I guess. The saddle, I could go, I could understand more. But it's so hard to pull the trigger on that stuff.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean yeah, I mean, if you're only hunting private land, there's really no need unless you're like we've talked to people before with deer picking out at the same tree, hunt the same year after year, and you can jump to a different tree, and try to change it up. But if you're not hunting public, there's no really need for it.
right?
Getting something like that where you could be more mobile. I know I may be getting talked into going to Ohio, maybe not this year, but next year. So I might have to pull a trigger on something that's a little bit more lightweight that I can pack in. But I can't see myself swinging up in a tree at 20 feet in a saddle. I just can't see it.
Now, and I will say this too. Now that you said that, it makes me think of, over time with waterfowl, even like hunting, there's a point where I feel like these birds get used to either layout blinds or A-frame blinds or hedgerows or whatever it may be. And I feel like it's a giant cycle with those kind of blinds in itself too. I mean, we've had really good luck hunting hedgerows in our area, and we haven't changed it since then. I mean, once in a blue moon, we might hunt a layout blind, but that's it. But over time, you could kind of see the whole industry shifting in different ways. Like I know, like Momarch has got some blinds that sit up out of the water, and you know, bunch of different blinds or ways of doing it. But I also feel like not only do deer get kind of used to maybe the spots or what to look for, I think waterfowl is kind of the same way, honestly.
Wasn't that the same way with decoys too? Like people jumping from like silos when and they have like the Canadian geese with the black and white, and they have the black, and then the full bodies and the shells and flags and not flags, the bags and stuff like that. Like, isn't that kind of a similar thing?
In my opinion, no. I think like silhouettes have been around a lot longer than people think. One, but two, I think it's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? A easier way of going about it. Like if you don't have a trailer, silhouettes are the way to go. Easier to compact, and you can get away with it. Not get away with it, but like it's just more convenient. Like the conveniency of it all. The black
Mm.
and white are more for visibility wise. If you're running traffic, you want those black and whites for them to really pop out. There was a video a couple years ago. A guy took a drone up, and you could see those black and whites from so much further away than the brown. Because after a while, if you think about it, a bean field or cornfield, maybe even like grass field. In reality, those decoys are only going to pop for so long. But if you got black and whites out there, and you're running traffic, they're really going to pop. But I think it's more for convenience than anything. I think, in my opinion, I think decoys are almost like fishing lures. Like they catch more people than they do fish. They kill more people than they do birds, in a sense. I it is hard to say that too because I know like DSD, for example. I've talked to people and they say that DSD is like the birds like are you wouldn't believe how they decoy compared to just regular decoys, which is hard to believe because it's like, well, why would they be backflapping in the decoys if that's fully committed? Like how could they be any different than they are then at that point? Um, which I haven't had. Maybe once I was able to hunt over DSDs, but I didn't really see much of a difference, but people do say that. But I think the whole black and white and the thing, like, I think it's just more of a convenience for the silhouettes compared to the full bodies, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if I can remember correctly, you're one of those guys that gets new decoys every like 4 or 5 years, or try to.
It depends on. We haven't in a while, actually. Now you say that, it's been a while. We keep up with our decoys, obviously. So I mean, we throw them in a bag and then we throw them in the seed bag, so they're not really. We're getting banged up a little bit, but not as much as other people where they're just throwing them in the trailer and being done with it. So we've had these decoys for probably maybe this is going on 4 years now, and there's no reason to get new ones. I mean, some of them got obviously like BBs in them, like the youth hunt we had last year. The kid was absolutely
Oh, you
peppered.
blame the youth.
Oh,
Don't
I got
blame
a
the
vid
youth.
there's a video of it. 'Cause, like, I was, like, looking at the birds, I'm like in the video, you could see, like, I'm looking at the birds, and I'm like, "Wha they're not moving. What did you shoot?" But you can see the decoy just spinning around in circles the whole time. And then you can see my dad pulling out his hair at the end of the blind because the kid shot the decoys.
I
Um,
mean, that'd be a great video for SX because it'd be like they're so realistic they even fool the hunters,
that's
you
true,
know?
true. It was perfect, that youth hunt, it was he never went on a field hunt and, was able to shoot his first bird, like, we had, like, 1s and 2s all morning and a couple bigger flocks, but, like, the first 4 or 5, I think he ended up shooting his limit, because we would always let him shoot first, obviously, and, so it's pretty cool to have it all worked out perfectly. Just like our buddy Scott with his daughter. Single came in, I think we had, like, 11 guys out there, so we didn't really know what to expect. Single came right in first light and landed right in front of her, and, he ended up dusting that thing and crying and bawling, and, Scott's jumping up and down, screaming, excited, and she doesn't know whether to jump around and scream and be excited or feel
Be
bad
sad
for
for the
it.
goose.
Right. But, I mean, it worked out awesome, though, it really did. And it
Yeah.
was cool too because she was out there when Stahl came out and hunted with us, what is that, 2 years ago now? And she ended up winning the band from the band draw, and Stahl gave her a call or shipped her a call, and, she's got that on her lanyard, and, drew Stahl a picture, and, it was pretty cool to just it was kind of a full circle kinda thing, you know what I mean? It was pretty
Well, it
cool.
makes what you're doing and bringing the people out worth it, right? Like, just those little moments like that. You probably coulda shot 1 bird that day, and that one moment there made the
Oh,
hunt,
for
you know?
sure, for sure, and it's cool when, we got a group of guys like we do, and even just the friends that we do, whether they hunt with us every time or not, that all are like-minded in that scenario, you know what I mean? I got, like, for example, my buddy Justin, his kid's gonna be coming out pretty soon probably, with those guys or with us or whoever he comes out with. And, to even think about him shooting his first bird or Brandon's kid Cooper coming out with us. I mean, it's all just cool to see the youth coming in. And I guess, I mean, even your boy just taking over the show at one point.
Yeah, I don't I'm tempted this year to bring him out in some early season goose this year. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe not with a big group like you guys, but just going out on a solo hunt and just seeing how you'd do. Getting up early and going sit in
I
the blind and
think the best thing that you could probably do, in my opinion, would be not maybe take them out September when you know that there might not be a possibility of like not even seeing a bird, but like maybe even taking them out on like a pigeon hunt. Like if we got a good pigeon hunt here coming up, like in August or whatever, bringing them over, which I know that'd be super early for you guys, but like having him like full of action, him going out and grabbing the birds, watching the dogs run around, playing with the dogs, because it's not like obviously pigeon hunting, it's more us getting back on for our shooting. The dogs putting in work on retrieving and steadiness and so on and so forth. But you could be outside of the blind, you could be joking around, you do whatever with the pigeons, and that way he doesn't feel like confined like into the blind, and that's the only spot he can
yeah,
go. He's got quiet. In my opinion, that would be the way to do it,
yeah. Yeah, that'd probably be smart.
just so he doesn't get bored, I guess per se either. And I feel like we talk about youth and even deer hunting, and I think that might be a thing too, where it's just a lot of kids for deer hunting since you can't talk and you got to be real quiet. I feel like a lot of kids nowadays they can't comprehend all that, and they just don't even want to go out there no more because they don't want to deal with getting yelled at by dad from stepping on a stick and what it's not. You know what I mean? It's just it's hard. It's hard, and that's what's so about waterfall.
Well, that's just gotta be on the parents, right? They gotta make sure they have all the goodies and the Game Boy, and, like, that's when I went with my dad, like, I had a backpack, and I had snacks, I had c coloring books, I had cars, I had Game Boy, and I could care less if I saw a deer, I just was out playing with stuff and eating snacks, you know?
Now it's a double-edged sword there because you want the kid just looking in the iPad all the whole time, or do you want him to actually kinda understand to an extent, obviously?
At 2 years old, it's not, um I don't think he understands anything at that point in time. I mean, he understands things, right, but he doesn't understand what's, like, the actually what's going on. I think it's more of just being out there,
Well,
right?
sure, I guess what would be the difference, I guess, at that point from you glassing a field and him looking through that and actually being able to, like, sit there without the iPad kinda thing compared to sitting in the blind, because you're probably not gonna see nothing because of talking or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Granted, yeah, but you wanted to get them out there, but, I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying, 2-year-olds is tough, and that's I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, I guess, you know what I mean?
But, I mean, like, even at 4 and 5, right, like, it's keeping them in a say for deer hunting, for example, like, keeping them in a 6 by 6 box for 4 hours and making sure they're sitting still, like,
Right.
that's not gonna happen. So having something to counteract their wanting to jump around or talk or do whatever, because you're still hunting, right? Having something to make sure are staying quiet. And when they get bored with that, then it's back to hunting, and that's when you teach some things.
Yeah, no, random question. I'm usually good for 2 or 3 of these, episode.
Hmm.
Do you at a young age, when you grow up watching outdoor shows and you see them, like, and it happens like that, like, it just all of a sudden, there's a deer in front of the people and you're watching this as a kid, and then you go out there and you realize, like, "Why is he yelling at me for not or for talking or whatever?" And, like, "Where are the deer even at?" Do you think that puts a bad taste, or even you could do even waterfowl too. You could do waterfowl, like how waterfowl shows, like, there's really not one episode or one show out. I mean, even our show on what is that, Sportsman's Channel? Like,
Hmm.
instantly, like, there's geese out in front of you. There's no, like, really big setup or anything. There's no flying chatter or, none of that really going on. There's some that show more of the setup, but not really all of it per se. They don't really capture the whole build up of it, which it could tend to be boring to an extent. But since they only see the action parts, and then when they go out there and there's a lot more to it than just that, do you think that could tend to rub a kid the wrong way on not wanting to do it anymore?
I mean, I guess it's gonna depend on how much the kid wants to do it, right? I mean, there is the learning curve of like, yeah. I mean, even people getting into the sport, not even a kid, like you see the hunting shows and they're like, this is easy. Like this, I mean, anyone can shoot a pile of geese or shoot a big buck, but then you take a step back and it's the hours of scouting, the decoy prep, the blind prep, putting in food plots for deer, cutting shooting lanes. I mean, at an early age for me, I loved riding on the tractor. So, I mean, I was always out there doing stuff. At least from my knowledge, I was. Maybe I wasn't. But I mean, I was kind of mentally prepared. Like, there's a lot more that goes on than just going out and you sit in a blind and do it. That's what I've always been told is like just put in the work. You know, and then good things will happen. So I think as someone that maybe wasn't grown up in it, I think there is a learning curve, and they might get turned away by it because they go try public land and it's like, wow, I didn't see anything, and or for waterfowl they go knock on a door and they get like 3 no's in a row. Like, yeah, this probably isn't worth it. I'll go do a guide service. I want to hunt. That's what keeps the guides busy, right? Like people, especially in-state people that go to guides, like they don't want to. I don't want to say that because that might rub people the wrong way, but people that maybe not don't have the time to do the prep to
Yeah, no,
have the reward.
I think a lot of the people that, yeah, they don't have the time, they don't have, the gear, whatever it may be. I think that's 2 of the biggest things for guide services or
Yeah.
out of state, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like out of state's a totally different game. But if you're in state, I think it's more of you just don't have the time to do the things that would require you to have a successful hunter, even make it worth it for you to be in the woods.
Yeah, no, I agree to that. I agree to that. I mean, look how many times we sat behind my cousin's house and didn't see a thing. I mean, that's all we had, and that's what we did.
Hmm.
The reason you kept on believing me that it was fun when actually birds flew over.
Hey, I
Which it
just had time being out in the outdoors in someone's backyard hunting, next
well,
to a highway.
we killed birds there. We've killed birds there.
We've killed birds there. Yeah. We almost shot a one-man limit there.
No, I think it was at that time. I think it was, oh, no,
Was it 3 at that time?
well, I can't remember if that was early season or if that was during regular season. Because if it was regular season, I believe it was 3 at that time. I think
Mhm.
it's only a few years ago they changed it to 5. I mean,
I
I'm
think it
talking,
was I think it was early season, I think.
was it early season? It could have been. It could have been. I mean, the
Yeah.
geese probably still had eggshells on their head. That's all. The only reason why we did get them, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
And
I
look at
almost
us
want,
now.
yeah, yeah. Look at us now, running a podcast, acting like we know what we're talking about.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, so hopefully no one listens to anything I say.
It is what
I'm just lucky, and lucky's a stretch.
I mean, I think that's a part of it all, though, right? I mean, especially when we have a guest on and stuff. I mean, like I said before already, like the podcast that we just did, that hopefully it'll be next weekend when it drops. Picking their brains, people, that do it and learning ourselves.
I mean, and that's pretty much what it is when you're I mean, now with social media and there's a lot more like groups out there that do come out and help like do the work for you. Like without using those, like it is all a guessing game, right? Like especially for deer hunting, like it is luck because if that buck chasing that doe could run a totally different direction, and sitting in your tree, right? Like if you're not hunting on a food source or hunting on a bait pile, which isn't legal in Michigan, like if they're not coming to that certain point, like you're hunting in the woods, like it's all luck because that doe could hit a tree and go boom one this direction or go this way. It's all
I,
luck.
I think Well, yeah, prime example is the property that I hunt. I mean, it took us, what, 3 years to finally get 2 deer down? I mean, it's so many somewhat close calls in the past couple years. Yeah, I don't know. I had something. I was gonna say something, but I
Yeah,
completely
you had
lost.
your other random question you were gonna ask me.
Okay, going back to deer hunting then. In your opinion, what do you think is better for oh, this is what I was gonna say. Time out, rewind this for a second. So the hardest thing is there's so many different people that are telling you certain things, but and people are taking that from the one person, even though the person that they're listening to or getting their information from is talking about a completely different type of property or type of soil or whatever it may be. And it could be used, but they're not using it in the right way, and it's hard to kinda determine that in the beginning, if that makes sense.
So you're saying if you're like looking at someone on social media and they're talking about a certain piece of property and they're trying to implement that towards yours.
Yeah, like if you're learning or trying to learn about it wise, or waterfowl hunting, like socks for me, for example, for waterfowl. Socks don't work down here for me, but down in Kansas, they work great. But if you're just watching people from Kansas hunt and take everything that they're doing and bring it up here, it's probably not gonna work the same way. Or deer
Ye
hunting, you got sandy soil compared to clay. You can't do what the guy, I don't think anyway, is doing in the sand compared to clay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like on the person that's trying to learn is taking bits and pieces and trying to relate them to their piece of property, right? Like so if it's someone in southern Michigan that's has perfect soil and is planning this type of food source and having this type of bedding and trying to implement that towards someone maybe on the west side of state, maybe close to the lake where it's more sandy, and trying to kind of relate that, like the different bedding structures, right? Like where you're thinking like a cedar swamp with cattails and trying to make that bed source to be pristine, right? And then versus going out west and it's a lot of CRP fields and tall grasses and trying to relate that to your piece of property and taking those little nuggets out to be like, okay, I need to have food source. So okay, what's my soil like? Okay, I can't plant turnips. What's gonna play in the sandy soil? Okay, put rye in it. Something green. And then if it's, bedding, he's taking the same thing. You gotta have all those different types of things and pull them in that will fit in your property, which is tough. Like if you don't have any knowledge on that and you can't learn it yourself, right? It's going to like a management group and having them come out to your property and them teaching you that way. If you can't pull it from social media or from YouTube or from ChatGPT, you have to take that step and go to that route.
Now, here was my other random question. Going from our last podcast, which again, listeners should hopefully be able to hear that next weekend. What, in your opinion, do you think is better, hinge cutting for deer or putting grasses down for bedding?
So coming off of the podcast that we shall not name yet 'cause it hasn't dropped yet, I was kind of I had never heard that before, and that was kind of a so what that was told was is hinge cutting is great for the first couple
If
years because they
if
still
done,
kind of green.
if done
What's that?
right, if done
If
right.
done if done right, and they flop over, and it's great bedding, the leaves are still on it, it's still green, whatever. But after those first couple years, when that tree dies, it gets nasty, it gets thick, and that becomes a predator habitat. Which I've never heard that before. Which I've been wanting to hinge cut my property. Now I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that now. I would say I would lean more towards the grasses.
And I feel like the grasses you might be able to sneak around better in a sense, like be able to, you got your blind, like your what
Your
are they
screen.
called? Yeah, your screen like to your blind or whatever, and you're not going to be
Uh-huh.
seen. That. But if you're walking by an area where it's hinge cut, them deer have their ways of looking out into the field or into the woods where they can see predators coming. I mean, the grasses might be the way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it just that from hearing him say that about the Predators, and it's only good for a couple years, and he could be wrong. Like, there's other people that might have different opinions on it, but that kind of shook me. Like, man, that makes sense. So I'll have another person on, and that's big on hinge cutting, and see what their opinion is on, it and what happens after 3 years for them. Maybe they cut it down and they replant. Like, I don't know. I've never
Which
hinge cut.
we have one lined up. Um, that is big into hinge cutting, so we'll be able to talk to him about that more. But yeah, I was just curious on that.
And that's gonna be nice having another perspective on because that's kind of why we do this. Because hearing two different sides of the coin, and then it's on us and the listeners to be like, okay, what do you think is the best option for your
Mhm.
property? Let's take a quick breather from the action. Let's talk promos. Grab 25% off HuntProof with code GREATHP25. Save 20% off Cooler Guard using code GLO. You can take 15% off your order from Hodag using code Great Lakes. And take 10% off Pattern Pros using code Great Lakes 10. Now back to the show. Let's take a quick breather from the action. Let's talk promos. Grab 25% off Huntproof with code GREATHP25. Save 20% off Cooler Guard using code GLO. You can take 15% off your order from Hodag using code Great Lakes. And take 10% off Pattern Pros using code Great Lakes 10. Now back to the show.
Okay, here's my third random question for this podcast. Have you ever heard of the Great Loop? So the Great Loop it's a giant loop from like all the Great Lakes out to the East Coast, all the way around, go around Florida. There's a way to cut through Florida, and then you come up all the way through the Mississippi, and you go into the Great Lakes again. Like it's all connected. Like you can take one big trip around. I think it was last year. There was a guy that did it in a 16-foot boat. Did the whole Great Loop and completed it. People do it every year. It's like a huge thing.
No, I will not do the Great Loop with you in your boat. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying in my boat, but I think it would be pretty cool, and I bet you no one's done it. And I don't even know if I want to do it. I just thought about this. So if somebody did the Great Loop and went to the states that were open in waterfowl season and waterfowl hunted all the states like in the Mississippi, Michigan, obviously, New York, all of those states, and kind of just hit all that and just whether it's diver hunts or if you're going up into Saginaw Bay, you can hunt puddle ducks in the bay there, or I don't know. I think that would be pretty sweet. And I mean, you're eating fresh meat, fresh ducks. I mean, you're going to do it pretty slow, and you're going to have to be careful with weather, obviously, because if we start here where I'm at, and let's say go east and go hit, Ohio, New York, all that stuff, you're going to have to go all the way through Lake Michigan, up in the Lake Superior, and back down again too. So you got to have to be careful with the weather on all of that. But I think it'd be pretty sweet if someone was able to do that.
It's a great idea. You shouldn't have said it on the podcast. I know someone's going to hear this and go do it.
If they do, I mean, kudos, because I mean it would be pretty sweet. I mean, just take a day per se, and you go out in the morning time, you hunt till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then you jump back in the boat and you take off. I mean, there's a lot of things though. I mean, you're gonna have to have the decoys. What kind of decoys? Because if you're hunting sea ducks on the East Coast, or it's gonna be tricky on what to get. Or you hunting down in Florida, what kind of ducks you hunting down there? Louisiana, you're going all the way through it. So you're gonna
How
need enough.
long? How long is that trip? That just doing the loop? How long was it? Do you know?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know how fast. I think his name was John, the guy that did in the 16-footer last year.
John Boat?
Maybe no. It's. I want to say his last name started with a Y. You could look it up, can't you? You got a computer right there.
Yeah. I'm on a computer. What's this called?
The Great Loop, Great Loop, LOOP.
LOOP. Someone did it in 2025 in 12 days in 18 hours.
Now, here's the thing that you got to think about too, though. That's probably a pretty good sized boat.
That was a team of 4, but a solo and single engine record was 19 days and 13 hours.
What was it again?
19 days and 13 hours.
Now, I think his name is John Jonas. I think his name is. For some reason, it's coming up to me right now. Great Loop, 16-footer. It's UMES or something along those lines. I could be way off, but it's popping up. It could have just been some friend that added me on Facebook.
Robert Jonas.
Yes, that is it. That is it. How fast did he do it? So
what was it? Is it not showing? It said 19 days, but I don't think that's it.
It could have been. It could have been.
Me.
Well, while you're looking that up,
19 days, 13 hours, 1 minute.
In a 16-footer,
16-foot John boat.
Yeah. Huh. So I mean, you're obviously adding a couple days if you're taking some time away to hunt for a few hours in the morning. But that would be a pretty sweet way to knock out some birds on your list.
Yeah, I mean that would be like we'd have to do like years of planning on that.
Well, yeah, you'd have to. You'd have to do like a reconstruction on the boat. I mean, you would have to do a ton of stuff. Again, figuring out
would we haul like a little jet sled behind us?
We could even haul 2 if we wanted to. But then
would you ride like the coastline, or would you go out in the middle and go?
Well, I mean, You would have to ride somewhat close to the coastline, but, like, past the waves wise, like, just past, so it's not, like, in dangerous waters, but you obviously can't be in the middle of the ocean.
So, it looks like he didn't go all the way around Florida, he cut through, like, by Tampa
Yeah, there's a
and
way to
what
cut in, and there's another way to cut in, like, in the Carolinas, I think, to be able to cut through. I thought there was a cut in by, like, the Carolinas where you kinda cut in and get out.
there is, it's a different route, it looks like.
Okay.
There's a couple different routes. There's, like, a
Yeah.
long way that goes up around, like, Pennsylvania and down, and there's one that goes through.
There was a
Pretty
guy from, Michigan, I think it was, last year. I think he's from the UP. He did it out of a kayak.
Great loop?
Yeah, kayak the whole thing, or canoe, kayak. I think it was kayak.
Yeah, I would not do that.
No, not at all.
It took him 268 days and 1,643 hours of paddling.
Mhm. Now, here's a question. What would you do? Would you rather go like paddle north up the Detroit River and north like St. Clair River and go all the way around that way and then come down with the Mississippi? Or would you rather go out down with the Detroit River, let that drag you down and then shoot out, like Ontario out to the ocean? How would you do that?
I would probably ride the Mississippi down, right? 'Cause it flowing down towards the ocean, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Since that
I
would
mean,
be the longest stretch, I would probably ride that down. I think that'd be the most sense, right?
yeah, I mean, the most sense to me would be just probably putting a motor on the back of the boat and going, but if I had to, yeah, I'd probably ride the Mississippi down.
Well, I'm thinking like fuel efficiency wise, like you running upriver for through 5 states versus just running down and able to go with the current potentially, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, just put a motor on the back of it and just be done with it. You ain't gotta
You
worry
don't
about
gotta
it.
be you don't gotta be a smart ass.
Well, I'm just saying I would not do that. I mean, the guys it's insane to even think somebody did that.
I'm just saying, like, either like even if I had a motor on the back of it, I'd probably run it down.
Probably, probably. I wonder can you see the route that he took?
Which one, the kayaker?
Yeah, and see, I wanna say he's from Michigan.
Yes, he did the Mississippi first.
Down, okay.
Yeah.
Is he from Michigan?
Oh, the kid, right? He's the young guy.
Yeah,
No,
younger
that's
guy, long hair.
yeah. I don't remember. I can't think.
Jack Sparrow is what I called him.
Peter
I am?
Peter
Oh.
Frank.
Well, while you're looking that up, quick, reminder, the youth hunt, September 18th, I think it is, for all the Duck Hunter Association. Get your kids signed up, get a bunch of free awesome stuff. Sign them up quick. I think they're only taking 50 kids in, so get it done quick. Get a bunch of free stuff, make me jealous, and then we're gonna be doing a podcast with all those kids after their hunts that morning too. So just a little friendly reminder. Brought the Duck Hunter Association. Look them up, read a book, figure it out. How do you like that? Shout out.
That was pretty freaking good, man.
You still
I don't see it.
I don't know. I'm gonna just say he's from Michigan. That's all.
Yeah, we can say he's from Michigan.
Or he's from Ontario, maybe. For some reason, I think he's from around here, though. Maybe not from around here, but from the state, like around the state, which is a big area. But
It's our
I don't,
podcast, we can say whatever we want.
yeah. Well, I mean, it deserves credit where credit's due, right? I mean, to be able to kayak
Mhm.
all the way around, that's insane.
No,
But that would be
it's a
pretty
different
sweet.
beast. That's a different beast.
That would be pretty sweet, though, to do that duck hunting wise, though. Like you said, it'd take years to plan it. I wonder if anybody's even tried
Okay, let me Google it since I have a computer.
it in Canada. Probably not.
I don't see anything. Wait a
Sell merchandise
second.
for the kids, sell or
No,
hats.
they got me. I thought this was about hunting, but they were hunting for a boat for the Great Loop, not hunting the Great Loop. Yeah, I
I'm
don't think
surprised.
so.
I'm surprised you haven't heard about it, like being like Ludington area.
I mean, like I saw some of that Peter guy's videos when he was doing it. I think it was last year, or the year before,
Mhm.
when he was doing it. But I didn't know. I just thought he was doing this loop. I didn't know it was called the Great Loop.
I gotcha. I don't know. I don't know. Pretty awesome stuff though. Pretty cool
Yeah.
that this people do that. I didn't even know. Honestly, I didn't know anything about it either until Robert did it with that 16-foot John boat, and then it got me thinking. I wonder if I could do it. But then I said no.
I know we can have music. We'll have those turtle boxes freaking banging. We'll have 6 of them on that boat.
That is true. Speaking of Turtle Box, big you could win one of these bad boys, the new Cub, brand new. We're gonna give 2 of these away pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. We got 2 Cubs we're giving out. These things are awesome, man. Indestructible. I think Jake dropped his like 20-foot working the other day. Not the Cub, but I know the Cubs are same thing. The Cubs are nice because they could float too. The Rangers don't float, but they're waterproof resistant. But the Cubs would be pretty badass. So big shout out to Turtle Box. But yeah, we'd have about 10 of those bad boys on a boat.
We won't be like, "Yeah, we're not bringing food, we're just gonna bring 10 turtle boxes,"
We don't got
I
enough.
guess.
We don't got enough weight to give out for the food. But turtle boxes.
Do those, because they float, do those count as life preservers or, like, life flotation devices?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know because I could technically throw it, and they do float. That will be a solid question when Ryan from Turtlebox comes in, hopefully this fall, and comes and hunts with us and does a podcast. Hopefully, maybe I should have brought that up.
So it keeps the people interested, coming back for more.
They should be interested with us giving two of these bad boys out. Honestly, that's what they should be interested about. But
Yeah, so you gotta listen every week now for your chance to find out where you could win this turtle box.
yeah, how to win it, when to win it. I'll give Trav's number out, see what kind of crazy pictures you could send to Trav's way, and then he'll do the voting, and then the craziest
Mhm.
picture. Um,
Biggest rack wins, deer rack.
well, all right. Well, I was gonna say there's this other contest going on. It's like it's a how do I word that? You got to show something off to win it. Like
Like a buck pull?
it starts with a B, but it's not like a
Hmm.
buck bull.
Like a bass weigh-in?
No, no, it's not. It's no way in.
Oh,
No way.
bobcat pelts.
No.
Oh,
Getting.
hmm.
I don't know. You got to show it off though to win the competition.
Bobber
It,
painting contest.
it's similar to that. It can be
Bobbers,
similar to
okay.
that
Similar to bobbers.
if you're not close to that.
Mm.
But we can let the imagine. Because I don't even want. Yeah, I don't even want.
Man, I'm gonna be thinking about this all night now. I don't even know what it is.
You sure? Okay, you know what it is, you idiot. All right, we're done with this podcast. Yeah, it's you opening up your mouth. Yeah, your butt mouth is what it is. That's the key word right there. But we're done with this podcast. Stay tuned. We got some guests lined up finally. I know you guys probably been hating just hearing me and Brad talk, rambling
Mostly
on.
Kyle talk.
Yeah, whatever. But like I said, stay tuned for the Turtle Box giveaway. Sign your kids up for Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's podcast, and we will catch you on the next one.